Have you ever had a dream that refused to die? For years, I thought mine was about buying a boat, living aboard, and sailing into sunsets. I've since discovered it never really was about the boat. It was about freedom. The freedom to make real what I always thought would remain a dream. Hello, my name is John, and I'd like to welcome you to a journey that may, or may not, end with me slowly cruising through the Med aboard a modest trawler. Now, to be clear, this isn't a series about sailing. Sailing simply happens to be the vehicle to make my dream come true. While we'll discuss my journey to finding a sailing school, the ins and outs of learning and practicing sailing, docking, mooring, and other maneuvers, the ins and outs of buying the right boat, this will not be a series about sailing. So if you're here looking for another channel reviewing boats or debating sail versus power, this probably isn't it. This series is about what happens when you decide later in life to stop postponing the things that have quietly lived in your heart for decades. I've lived in France, Canada, the Caribbean, Japan, Australia, Spain, and the United States. I've been a civil engineer, a scuba instructor, a lawyer, and a CEO. And looking back, it sounds adventurous. At the time, I thought I was simply building a career. What I slowly realized was that I was indeed building a career, but all the while postponing a life. Some dreams stayed in the drawer for years only to be forgotten, but two never disappeared. I always wanted to learn to play the piano, and I always wanted to live aboard a trawler and explore the Med at my own pace. Today, at 67 and a half years old, I finally bought a baby grand piano and began taking piano and sailing lessons. This series is about that decision and how it may help you make your dream a reality. Along the way, I'll share the victories, the mistakes, the costs, the maintenance, the navigation, the weather, the books, the fitness, and everything else that goes into preparing not just to own a boat, but to earn the confidence to take her safely to sea. Along our journey, I'll also share something I call the family office for the rest of us. It's a way of thinking about money that has very little to do with getting rich and everything to do with buying freedom. We'll explore that together in future episodes. And because artificial intelligence has fascinated me for many years, and indeed was the subject of my graduate thesis, occasionally we'll stop in a quiet harbor, not a real one, but an intellectual one, to explore how AI can help us think better, make better decisions, and perhaps become a little wiser. Philosophy has been another lifelong interest of mine. In fact, I earned a degree in philosophy because I wanted to better understand questions that don't have easy answers, and sometimes no answers at all. So every now and then, I'll ask a question rather than offer an answer. Questions about freedom, purpose, responsibility, and what it really means to live well. Whether I ultimately buy the trawler or not, I suspect will be irrelevant. The boat isn't really the destination. Freedom is. And if 12 and a half years from now, an 80-year-old John is quietly making his way among the Greek islands with a dog at his feet, a cat convinced it owns the saloon, a guitar, and if I can somehow make it fit, an electronic keyboard within reach. A modest trawler leaves little room for a baby grand, sadly, along with a stack of good books besides the helm. I hope no one says, "What an impractical dream." I hope they say, he prepared well, stayed healthy, and spent his remaining years exactly where he wanted to be. Perhaps your dream has nothing to do with boats. Perhaps it's writing a novel, opening a bakery, learning another language, or simply finding more time for the people you love. This series isn't about my dream, really. This series is about the decision to pursue yours. If my journey helps you move a little closer to your own dream, whether it's on the sea or somewhere entirely different, then sharing it will have been worthwhile. Welcome aboard.